Upset City here. Takeover to title part 2. And I mean, guys, your boy is going for it. 0-27, 275. I'm well on my way to that title. For the optics of it, 0-27 does not matter. At D3, D2, and honestly most of D1, you're not going to get fired for going 0-27. Even if you went 0-27, okay, I should say you're not going to get fired. And then at D1, you can go 0-27 for 10 plus seasons, and you still may not get fired, depending on what school you're at. So, don't worry, this does not matter. Ultimately, I played a short depth chart. I focused on my practice plan. I didn't even set a player game plan. I didn't even set a real depth chart. I didn't even set a team game plan. I set one, but it was optimized all for getting my young guys as many minutes as they could, and it worked out. I want to just show you guys. So I'm a C- right now. The only effects that this 0-27 and 275 have are they're going to probably knock me down to a D+. Let's look at, we'll just make up a season. Like right here. 196, I was a C-, or the sim was a C-. This PI, so this is a range, right? C-, say it's a high C-, and then say this was like a B. On average, it brings them up to, what if you average those two out, it's a C+. And then say this was a C- level season, you pair it with a C+, you get a C. That's at least my understanding for D2 and D3. I know D1 is a 4-year history with the most recent season having heavier weight and draft picks get involved, so into your prestige. So this is just for D2 and D3. I'm expecting that this C- is going to probably get paired with a D level season, so I'm expecting to go down to a D+. I used to be part of a camp that was like, no, prestige doesn't matter for D2 and D3. Just don't even worry about it. This season, I definitely felt it. I was a C-. I was recruiting against a couple D1 sims, low sims, as well as I was recruiting against a couple A+ D2s, and I was kind of noticing they were unlocking well before I was. I recruit a little bit more aggressively at times, and for people to be unlocking before me and to be beating me to multiple different unlocks, I was like, I'm starting to see it a little bit. Preferences were even in my, were pretty neutral actually, I guess. So I was noticing the prestige hit. Maybe previously at West Florida and Abilene Christian, I am a self-identified location merchant. Like I win based on where I am. I maybe just didn't notice it and was like, oh, prestige doesn't matter because it wasn't affecting me. But now that I've actually dealt with it, I'm like, oh, I could definitely see where prestige is a little bit more important. But C-, it's going to bring me to a D+. I'm recruiting, but I already have a lot of my roster, right? Like I brought in 2 guys last season. I'm going to show you guys. I might have a third on the roster already. I just didn't realize. And I'm going to be signing 4 to 5 guys this upcoming off season. So I already have a big chunk. So next season I'll have a D+, but I won't need as many guys. I'll kind of just need like 1 or 2 to fill gaps. So without further ado, let's look at how my tanking went, right? Kells, he was the 2-star from Hawaii I recruited. For D2 and D3, I'd advise probably just staying away from stars, or I don't want to say ignore stars. Stars have a value, but they're completely psychological. Like if a D1, I've noticed like if a C-level team will just go after a 3 or 4-star, even if they're horrific, because they see the stars. So I don't want to say completely ignore stars, but stars don't matter in terms of like this guy is going to be awesome, but it's not because he was a 2-star. As a D, I think the higher ranked they are, I'm going to save some of this for my scouting recruiting video. Anyway, Kells turned out great, right? So looking at how he panned out, he's probably going to be, and I'm just going to go based on his end ratings here. He's probably going to be about a 60 athleticism. I think that did not, I think that was 60. 93 speed is awesome. That's kind of that sacrifice I look for, where I sacrifice a little bit more athleticism for that speed. Defense, I didn't touch at all this season because I had a couple different categories I wanted to try and really focus on. Low post got to like 15, so that should put me at like 35 low post. I believe this got to 78, which is kind of a bummer, or I guess 58, but then it'll turn out to be 78. It's a bummer because I have this arbitrary cutoff. It's not because just 2 rating points actually matter. Like, I mean, yes, but how significant? Probably not much. I really had this arbitrary cutoff of I want 80 perimeter on my shooters. But with his ball handling being so good, his speed being so good, his stamina being so good, his athleticism being decent, those are kind of those things that you look for. He should still be, he could tolerate a -1. He might even tolerate it a 0. I may not need him to shoot because I'll show you guys the next two guys, but overall, really good player. He's going to be over 90 stamina. He's going to be able to, hit free throws. He's a really good talent. I also have this arbitrary cutoff of I really like when my point guards have 70 passing and 70 ball handling at minimum, and he hits that. But again, it's arbitrary. So if he turns out to be, say, a 68, and again, I didn't really practice this till the end of the season, so that's why he only gained 3. But if he turns out to be a 68 or 69, does that really matter when he has such elite ball handling at the point guard position? So, yeah, happy with how Kels turned out. Connor, he's the one who I said I really need this lottery ticket, and it panned out. He got plus 29. Issue with Connor is I'm kind of torn. Recruiting didn't go as smoothly as I wanted. I made a pretty big blunder I'll share in the next video as well. But, 66 athleticism, 75 is where he turned right away, so 75 speed, 75 passing, 75 defense. That's all pretty good, as well as he's going to be able to shoot really well. So I'm thrilled about that. Don't love his ball handling, but overall, he's not bad. I could probably throw him at the 3 spot, and he's going to have such good stamina as well. I'm really happy about how he turned out. I really wanted one of passing or stamina to hit. They didn't, but also it doesn't make him a bad enough player that I think I have to cut him. I think I could just throw him at the 3 spot and he'll be good. For Fearn, I did not mention him last time, or maybe I did because I just said I was going to cut him. The sim sign this guy. And I didn't even look at him until 2 games left in the season. I was setting a practice plan, and so you could even see I was setting a practice plan, and all of a sudden I was like, wait, who's this guy? He had 9 across the board as freshman default too. And I went over to his ratings history and was like, wait, this guy's not bad. So this just turned. So this is 60 defense. This just turned this morning. I don't know when this turned because I wasn't looking at him, but say it turned right away. And he's a 59 athleticism, 80 speed, 60 defense. That's all fine. I can tolerate all that. Brother, 59 plus, say he has another 28 in the tank. Okay, so something for coaches to be aware of is he got a lot of growth without playing, so playing time helps his improvement, as well as he only had 9 in his perimeter. So he was very sensitive to the 9 and the lack of playing time, and it resulted in, I think, so I know that that's 15, but I think it was 13 points of growth, and I think over the last 2 games he gained a point each. So that's probably going to pop. That could be close to 100. That's awesome. I would love another 100 perimeter shooter on my team, especially one who has over 90 stamina, especially one who's fast, or at least fast enough. I don't know where these cutoffs are, but this guy's good. I still may need to cut him because I have a Hawaii recruit I'm going for, surprise, surprise, and I want to spend the extra money over there because it's turned into a battle. But I may also try and just keep him and try and get the Hawaii recruit because this guy is not somebody I just want to toss away. So, very happy that I just kind of stumbled into this this player, especially because you're going to see I had a pretty big blunder in recruiting. I'll go over that in the next video. That I ended up losing somebody who could have been a guard for me. So to get somebody handed to me is like score. Let me close out of this as well. Okay, so you guys can take this skeleton and do what you want with it. Now that I actually have it open, I kind of noticed something. This looks off to me. I felt like those were previously the same, but maybe I'm wrong. So this is a template I use on all my teams. The only things I change are offense, defense, offense, defense, offense, defense. And then everything else is the exact same. The only 3 things I change are tempo, positioning, and halftime adjustment. Okay, so I don't know how much I should go into new information versus how much I should be giving like for newer players, as well as should I be going into like sim engine theory. But the way that, and this is all my understanding of the game. My understanding is I will have coaches who message me and say, I was up with 10 minutes left, I was up by 10, and I lost by 15. Like, how do I, so they'll play with these toggles, and they'll just keep playing with the toggles, and they're like, it doesn't make sense, I'm up, and then I lose. And they're talking about games against a better team. And they're like, I don't know what to do. And I have to explain to them, this is not going to fix it for you. The way that you're going to fix those games is tempo, positioning, and halftime adjustment, recruiting better players, making sure your depth chart is right, and putting together a good player game plan. You are not going to. I mean, you can beat those teams. You will produce upsets, but if somebody's is supposed to beat you, has a 70% likelihood of beating you, they're going to beat you 7 out of 10 times. You can't just keep being like, well, why is it not 50-50 or why am I not winning these more? Ultimately, talent matters. All this other stuff matters a lot more, in my opinion. Let's talk about the only 3 things I changed, which are tempo. Actually, hold on. Let me go back to. So coaches will complain about that, and then what will happen is I'll have to explain like, okay, sim engine theory, right? This is my understanding of the game. If you're up with, say, 10 minutes left, you've gone 30 minutes beating a team who probably should win. They are very likely undershooting relative to what they should be, and you are overshooting with what you should be. So, okay, say they have a big man, and I'm just using this example. This big man, based on your positioning, your tempo, and their fatigue, their ability to score, your defensive settings, the defense that you run, all of these factors come in, and he has a likelihood of scoring. And say it's 50%. And then that first 30 minutes, he missed, and he missed, and he missed, and he missed. Okay, so now every shot, he went from 50%, and the engine, and then he goes 0 for 1, and the engine goes, oh, well, let's make sure he doesn't deviate too far. Let's give him, this next shot will be 51%. And then he misses again, and it goes, let's make this next shot 54% or 55%. He misses again. Let's give it, so there's a feedback system of he should be scoring more than he is. Let's kind of address and kind of, if they're shooting too high, dampen it, and if they're shooting too low, boost it a little bit. It's not saying that he's going to hit the next shot because it goes to 100% and the game hates you or anything. It's the game is going to dampen if you're overshooting, and it's going to boost a little bit when you're dampen when you're overshooting and boost when you're undershooting. So you go for 30 minutes and you're like, wow, I'm up 10. This is awesome. Here it comes. And then they hit a 3 and they hit a 3. And then you turn it over and you turn it over and then you miss free throws and they're making their free throws and you're going, wait, what just happened? I just blew a 10-point lead. And it's because it's all probability. But this is a probability that's trying to self-correct itself. So that can get addressed more with this kind of stuff versus just toggling a couple numbers here and being like, okay, I'm going to start beating the top teams in the country. Tempo. So tempo, I use a ranking system. What is going to benefit me most is number 1, and then what's going to hurt the other team is number 2. I'm not as worried about hurting the other team really with my tempo because slowdown saves my stamina more than the other team, and up tempo or fast pace decreases my stamina more than it decreases the other team. So I have to be really good in one category for me to want to really dive down that road. So if I'm fast break, full court press, and I'm looking at a 10-man press team, heck yeah, let's burn him the heck out. But if I'm looking at if I'm a man-to-man team and I'm looking at an 8-man zone, but I have a 9-man man-to-man team, I probably should just play in my best interest and go slow down or normal because I'm not going to burn them out. So I kind of think of it as what's going to help me most, and then secondary, if I can, and I really only make that change with press, then I'll say, okay, is it worth me going up tempo to try and mess with his stamina, or his? Do I see depth chart issues that maybe I could exploit on his side by going up tempo? So, what helps me most first, and then what hurts them most second. Another way to look at tempo, though, is I kind of mentioned the variance and the odds of every possession, right? So, what if I went, and this is not a strategy I use. I just want to offer this idea to other coaches who may be interested in it. What if I go slow down purposefully because I'm trying to cut the amount of possessions in the game so that I can take advantage of the lack of possessions, higher variance, and additionally, if I'm a better team, let me go fast pace. Let me increase the amount of possessions to kind of stabilize and the expected outcome will come through. I don't love that strategy. I would rather just play to what my team's best strength is and hope that every possession is kind of going, I'm doing enough all over here to make sure that my optimal tempo works out. Positioning. This I also change. I might go into a season and not touch it once. I may change it based on the game, depending on my team composition. Positioning, I change every game. It's important to look at this. So for newer coaches, I would steer away from these end ranges. I just don't think you get enough bang for your buck on those end ranges. Play it like the -3 to +3 range. Even that, I rarely use +3. I'll go into -3 sometimes, but I do it in a little bit different way. I'll explain in a second. So the more negative you go, the more you are taking away the inside, right? Oh, wow. I didn't even notice that said that there. Take away inside and take away perimeter. So not just decreasing the percentage, but more so and more emphatically, you're decreasing the attempts, or you're decreasing the probability that they'll be taking a 3 from that, taking a 3 or taking a 2, based on if you're positive or negative. It also dampens the percentages a little bit. More negative, you're actually going to foul more, you're going to get more rebounds, and you're going to get less turnovers. Whereas here, you're going to foul less, you're going to get more turnovers, but you're going to lose out on the rebounding. There's pros and cons, right? So if I'm a man team going up against a press team, and for coaches who don't know, think of like zone as the rebounding squad, man as like it does rebounding and turnovers, but it definitely helps more in rebounding, and then press is more of turnovers. For new coaches, I'd steer clear of the half-court press of any of these, especially man-to-man. It's not the easiest way to go about winning. So if I'm a man team going up against a press team, I may say, okay, I know I'm going to out-rebound him. I have 2-3 really good rebounders. He's pressed, so he's already at a disadvantage. Maybe I go a little bit more positive and cheat this way to try and get decrease my foul likelihood, and knowing that I'm still safe over here and getting a little bit less fouls over here. Or if I'm going up against a very high tempo, high turnover press team, maybe I want to go, I'll cheat in here. Let me make sure I just take away the inside. Let me secure my rebounding victory here, and that's going to be the difference maker. So there's a lot of different ways you can kind of test and play around with that. Halftime adjustment, I typically always leave it on if losing by 10 or more. The only time I change halftime adjustment is if I'm seeing somebody who say he's taken 1-3, it's the national tournament, he's taken 1-3 all season. It's kind of scary going this negative and being at risk for one, mid-range shots will be opened up, and two, I don't want to get into foul trouble. Like, if I have a short bench or something like that, I don't want to get into foul trouble. I just don't want my starters to get in foul trouble anyway, right? Like, they're my starters for a reason. So I may go, like, -2, and then maybe I go anytime. And then what will happen is, at halftime, the sim will look at the box score and go, okay, well, that other team has taken 0 threes. Now let's go -4. Now I'm really taking away the inside, and I've only had to be a -4. Like, I've only had to play that aggressively inside with all that risk of foul for a half rather than a full game. Outside of that, I always leave this at if losing by 10 or more. If I'm losing by 10 or more at the halftime, I probably did something pretty stupid, and I just want Sim to double check. Sim will go no more than, say I'm at a 0. Sim will go no more than 2 in either direction. So -2 to +2. It might go -1 +1 depending on how many attempts the guy has inside versus outside. I think it's a percentage. So everything else, I'd never touch. I do not touch any of this. I may say I don't even use that because I start normally freshmen all season, and sophomores all season. So I don't even check off these. So if you guys want to copy that, I think mine was very similar. I think I ended up stealing this from Cub, so Cub shout out again. And that strategy of the anytime I stole from T-Mac fan, so shout out to him as well. But yeah, ultimately that's how I address team game plan. Player game plan. So I leave everyone at leave-in longer. Now this is where you start to get more into the. Okay, so one, it's a sim. It's not a real game. So I don't care if my best player. So I don't care if my seniors are in and my best players are in the last 2 minutes, or if it's my freshmen. Because I just want my best players in as much as I can, so that they're getting as many shots as they can. They're defending as much as they can. I want my best players in as much as they can, right? So if I were to leave in longer and he plays an extra 5 minutes this way versus being taken out and then kind of the sim gets to dictate when he gets put back into the game. I don't really love that. I don't love the sim making those decisions for me. I don't love the idea that they can be taking away minutes from my best players. So yeah, I choose everyone leaving longer. I know that some coaches will put like a backup player at take out quicker, like a third string guy. I could see that where like if it's you're like a 12-man fast break full court press team, you don't want your backup to get foul trouble, but also then you're throwing yourself in stamina issues. So I don't know. I leave in longer for everyone. I'll go more into this distribution and 3-point. I think that there's a lot of nuance in player game plan, but I'll go over that when I have an actual team to build around. I just left it at 0 all season. With a bad team, you kind of overshoot your coverage. I mean, it doesn't look like it, but I didn't even run an offense they know or a defense they know. So another reason for leaving longer is I kind of mentioned the feedback system. Say who's a senior and he's a superstar. Say he picks up 2 fouls to start the game. That sucks. They may take him out, but then they'll put him back in quick. The probability of him picking up a third quick foul is now down a little bit, is my understanding. Again, this is all based on my understanding from the countless mentors I've had. It's less likely he's going to foul. So why wouldn't I leave him in longer? Because one, it's safe. Like the probability is down, so I might as well put him back in. But also, it's not a little bit like that's kind of strong play where, okay, well now I'm playing a guy who pretty much, I don't want to say can't foul. It's not definitive like that, but he's less likely to foul. That's kind of cool. Like to have a guy who's just less likely to foul just based on the engine. So, I mean, it sucks he picks up a foul, but he's now less likely to foul. So, yeah, so just going over like that feedback system. And then same with doubling. It's not here. It wouldn't even matter because I'm running press, and you don't double in press because everyone gets doubled. But in man and zone, I choose always. If I'm doubling somebody, I always double them. It's silly, or maybe it's a little bit too deep, but if a guy is 4 for 4, his probability is now down, right? So why I don't like if leading scorer is if that guy is now 4 for 4, his probability is already down, and now I'm doubling him, which is decreasing his odds of making it. But now his whole team by doubling gets a little bit of a boost. So that kind of sucks, right? Like he was already unlikely to make his next shot, and now I just gave his whole team an ability to make their next shots by doubling him. Versus, and then additionally, when that guy starts off 0 for 4, I'm not doubling him. And now he's more likely than ever to hit a shot, and I'm now not doubling him until he hits 3 in a row or 4 in a row on me. I would just like to double always. I hope that makes sense to you guys. You're essentially, if leading scorer, you are now doubling somebody at the peak of when you don't want to double them, and then when they start to fall back into the pack, you stop your double, and that's when they're going to get hot. That's the time they were going to get hot, and you just pulled off your double. So I prefer always double. Again, it's that feedback system, so for coaches who don't know that, that's pretty helpful, I think. Let me look at depth chart. So, I know, real good depth chart here. I leave everyone at fairly fresh. If I'm running man, I might not. So the way the depth chart works is, maybe I hold on until the next video. I don't know, I'll use this kind of pack over here. Say Fearn, Alligood, and Robinson are all 80 stamina. They're all likely going to get pulled out at the same time, right? Like there's going to be a stoppage of play. Lolly cannot fill all 3 spots. So Lolly, I think that's how you say his name, is going to go into the furthest left slot. So Lolly will then take over the playing time. And then Alligood and Robinson will be replaced by power forward 3 and center 3. Okay? So you can do some cool stuff with that. Press, it's a little, you really want to make sure you're optimizing all your spots, but in man, it's kind of fun because like if you have like a 80 stamina point guard and like a 95 stamina shooting guard, and they both can play point guard, you can say, okay, I'll put him, and then let me put Connor here. When Kells is out, Connor will shift over. In those instances, maybe I say, well, I want him getting tired because I don't want these backup point guards or whatever. A lot of times you just don't have a lot of really, really good point guards. So maybe I'll put him at getting tired, and I know that he'll optimize. He'll play all here. Shooting guards will shift up. And then when he's ready, he'll either slot back in his starting shooting guard spot, or if he needs to come in at point guard, he'll go at point guard. In this type of scenario, the second Kells gets taken out, Connor has to go in at point guard. He does not get this option of playing at shooting guard anymore. Mostly. Now, there is a very niche time where, like, the engine is trying to get as many of the ones to play, or it's trying to get as small of a number. If this is 1, this row is 2, this row is 3, this row is 4, it's going to try and get as low of a number to play at the same time. That's very situational. Don't stress that part. I don't even know if I should have mentioned it. I don't even understand it, so I don't want to go too far into it. But I know that if Connor can play both these spots, he'll get point guard first, once Kels gets taken out. Same with Lolly. Lolly will be here, but then you can do some fun stuff here where, like, if this wasn't 80-80-80, say if it was 80-70-60, I don't know. And then what I could do is I can do Lolly at, like, getting not tired. I never really play anyone tired unless I'm just messing with minutes for promises. If he's 60, he's 70, he's 80, say Robinson gets taken out first, okay, Lolly will go in. And then, okay, well, now, it's a bad example because it's not actually how it works. Like, it wouldn't happen this quickly, but, okay, well, now say Robinson's healthy again, and Alligood's now ready. And then Alligood is back ready to go in, and Lolly's ready to go in. So you can get, and Fearn's ready to go back in. So you can get your backups. It's just unique ways to get your backups a lot more minutes than you'd expect. Obviously, 60, 70, 80 is not a good example because he wouldn't be taken out and, like, he wouldn't already be ready to go, and he wouldn't be taken out and he's ready to go. So that was an example just to show you, like, how that system works. So you can get people to play a lot of minutes off your bench if you have some superstar bench scorer who maybe he's low defense or something, or he has some flaw that you're just trying to avoid, but he's going to light up a second unit. Or if you just have a lot of offense on your starting lineup and you're like, well, wait, this guy is a superstar scorer. Let me see how many minutes I can get him. Try and shift him around into multiple different spots if he can tolerate it. So if it's a shooting guard, can he play at these two slots? And if he's a power forward, can he play both here? And can he even go here? And sometimes I'll even play I'll play like a lower stamina power forward, even if he really should be the bench guy, because if he has high stamina, maybe I know that his low stamina means he's going to go in first. I'm talking about man-to-man, by the way. And then I can kind of trickle these three where now Alligood's ready to go in, and then Lolly will hop in here, and then Robinson's ready to get in, Robinson's ready to go back in, and Lolly's back to the bench because now he's tired, so these two are back in. Just different unique ways that you can play with your benches. Depth chart, the only other thing I touch is everyone's fairly fresh except for if they have promises. Okay, so the way a promise works, and new coaches, it's really important you understand this because this is why I offer a promise to every single player I play. I didn't because they signed before I could offer them promises, but I would have. I play with getting tired, very tired. I'll put them on foul trouble only. I will swap my defense to make it to zone triangle slowdown if I need to. The second, you do not have to give it's be the opposite of the person your parents want you to be. Lie, put this dude on the lowest part of your depth chart that you want. It does not matter. The second that he complains, you have 6 games to right your wrong. So say Connor complained. Day 1, he goes in the starting lineup. This goes for starts and playing time. Be careful because if they complain at, say, 11 at night Eastern time, they are expecting to play for that 2 a.m. game, and you need to be ready to swap him over. So be careful with it. But if you miss one start, you're done. Promise minutes. So you have 6 games to correct it. Say Connor was 25-minute promise. That's 150 minutes that he needs to hit in the next 6 games. If he plays 20 minutes in a game but fouls out because he's too tired because I'm way over, I'm like, hey, foul trouble only, and he fouled out, I will that game will not count in that equation. So you still have 6 games. If he were to hit 28 minutes and foul out, that game does count towards his promise. So you will get credit for that game. So that's 28 of your 150 that's achieved. After 6 games, he'll be like, hey, coach, I told my parents that you were the guy, and you're the guy. You righted your wrong. And you go, yoink, and you can put him right back down where he was. That is the current understanding in the Discord. I am going based off of some testing I've done. I'm going based on some testing that other coaches have done. You do not need to follow up with promises. However, I play it on the safe side because I don't even care about that. I want my young guys getting as much playing time, and this goes even for my title seasons. I don't care about going 35-0 with one RPI, one strength of schedule. I mean, I've done it, humble brag, but my more important, and I do it in like week conferences, so it's really not even a humble brag, but my biggest thing is I want these guys to get as much playing time, because if they're going to be, I mean, these three won't be, but say these were all real freshmen and I had like all my starters down here, I want these guys to be as good as I can, because come postseason, if they need to play, I want my bench to be as strong as possible. So playing time improves development. I want to optimize my playing time. So I think that's all I have to talk about. I was going to go over practice plan. I'll go over that next time. Stopping threes. Yeah, I think we went over the thing. So the next video I recorded a little bit for scouting and recruiting. I made some blunders, like really bad blunders, like didn't know the day was signing. It was signing day type of blunder, and I didn't know he was going to sign for a cycle type of blunder. So it would be good. That'll be helpful because it happens. I will go over scouting and recruiting in review. I was going to go over my scouting in total in live, but I was an hour in and I hadn't even gotten to D1, which is like the biggest portion of my scouting. So for the sake of just rambling, I'll show you guys how I scout, but I won't go through every single player and why I'm scouting them. And I'll give you a generality, which should be pretty good information for everyone to have. So today, depth chart, we went over team game plan, player game plan. Hopefully this is helpful. I'm going to start a part 3. I guess will be after recruiting, because the national tournament is about to sim, or CT finals about to sim. So in about a week or so, I'll post a recruiting and scouting and review. All right, later guys.